Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Skulk, continuing the story of Winds of Change. We're going into Alarenthia, at least I believe so. That's the name, right? Oh, we are. Oh, my mind was back here. This is where we are. We are going to... Alright, so we clicked on here, we got the books, and we clicked on everything around here, so here we go. Going to the tavern. We enter the tavern, and make sure to stick close together. It was packed, noisy, and patrons seemed pretty rowdy. I make sure to stick by Ulrich in case something breaks out.
It looks just like I remember it. All these years and nothing has changed. I guess there's no use trying to change perfection.
Is it perfection? I guess this may be sarcasm, but I'll just leave it to you.
Yes, it looks much like it did in our time, as well. If memory serves, Alarenthia is home to a unique wine, Monarch. If you have a drink, we would suggest that.
I don't drink.
Wow. He actually knows what he's talking about. I'm buying a few bottles to bring back to the mainland. The climate of Alarenthia affects the taste of everything. Some in a good way and some in a bad way. I won't bore you with the details, but the wine is great. Let's find Vivian and get everything started, shall we?
Yeah, and that's what we were gonna do. I was stuttering, I was wondering, and then I just remembered now, just because you said it. We all nod to one another. Venture deeper into the tavern. It's an open place with no doors. I could see right outside the market. It makes things noisy, almost unbearably so, but I'll have to deal with it. We approach the bar. I assume Ulrich is going to ask after Vivian. I can't even see Drikior. I look around and notice a bunch of eyes on us. Part of me starts to wonder if this was a trap. Something feels odd. A man sneaks up from behind us and stands between me and Ulrich. He has a drink in hand, and he slams it down on the table. Some of it spills on the bar. This man must be intoxicated.
Hey, would you let me buy you a drink? Something tells me you're not from around here. I know a lot about this place if you need a tour guide.
Before I can answer, Ulrich gently pushes them away.
Look, we don't have time for any antics. But if you know where Vivian is, we could use some help. You're right about us being foreigners. We've come a long way.
Oh, you're looking for Vivian. Why didn't you say so? Follow me.
Oh, okay. Ulrich and I stare at each other at an ease.
We'd rather stay here if you don't mind. Following strangers isn't the best idea.
All right. I'll be right back. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I trust you. Have I seen you before? You look familiar.
No. Now please leave us be. Don't bother us again unless you have Vivian. I'll ask the barkeep in the meantime. Maybe they know.
The mystery man nods and walks away from us. I doubt he'd be coming back. He was probably a scammer. Is there something about us that marks us as easy targets?
Now I guess I'll start.
Before we can continue, Drikior sneaks up behind us.
Your manners could use some work, Ulrich.
I use my manners on worthwhile people.
And Vivian isn't one of them? I saw how you just shoved him away.
Wait, what? Vivian is a man?
And an honorable one at that. He deserves to be treated with respect.
I don't believe you.
Most people don't. His parents chose the name. If anything, it keeps the assassins looking for the wrong person. Try and tell me you weren't looking for a female when you entered.
Ulrich shrugs. Drikior had a point, though.
Let's get this over with, then. We need to talk about securing an alliance. Then we'll do the same with Dracu and take the best deal.
Vivian approaches us and stands beside Drakior.
You told them? I was having fun, Drakeyor. That's in short supply these days. Thanks a lot.
They're on a strict schedule, Vivian. The ball opens up in a matter of hours. Remember, you still have a move to make.
Right. A challenge at the ball. Move aside. I'll explain our plan to Ulrich. If he has any sense, he'll aid our cause.
Drakeyor nods and steps aside. Our comrades gather around, having realized what's going on.
So Vivian is a guy?
I guess so. But don't say that too loud. Something tells me it's not common knowledge.
Very smart. Helps you stay incognito. We were all looking for a girl, weren't we?
Yeah, something like that. Either way, I'm glad this worked out. We should probably talk terms with him.
You look blushy. Of course, that's your ashamed face, or never mind, face, or something like that.
You have a nice group of comrades, Ulrich. Start by telling me about him, though.
Vivian stares at me. That was a reasonable request. My position beside Ulrich implied we were closer than the rest.
This is the monarch, heir to the throne of Alestia. After we take down the Triumvirate, this is his world. A crazy claim, I know, but we have proof of everything.
Vivian blinks a few times, clearly confused. What?
Let's continue under the assumption that I understand. At the end of the day, you want my army to aid you, right?
Right.
Well, this is where it gets a bit weird. I want your army just as much as you want mine. Maybe we can come to some sort of conclusion?
I mean, fair is fair, right?
Go on.
I'm going to Draku's ball and challenging him. Tomorrow, I plan to be fighting for the throne. We'll do it right. One last fight in the Colosseum. I had Drakeyor stay at the docks to watch the new arrivals. If he found a group that looked strong enough, he'd tell me. You fit the bill. Better than anyone else. So he spied on you.
I know it's pointing something out that's kind of small, and I'm trying to let it pass me, but just to let you know, I do notice that every time he finishes a line, he goes, "How you doing?" Yeah, he went that way. But that's just what I've noticed. I'm not trying to make fun of it. It's just very noticeable.
He heard your group talking about a rebellion and a big army. That's when I knew we hit the jackpot. Our new target was clear. But to know you came here just for me? That's pretty flattering.
You hear that? Now you can't unhear it. I got you. I made you hear it. Now it's all in your head. It's your focus now.
If you help me take down Draku in the Colosseum, I'll help you. I can offer a few hundred men and maybe more from my throne. Who knows how many people I can rally up if I take over this nation.
But you don't just care about power, right? You plan to change this nation for the better.
Yes. I plan to model ourselves like the mainland. Elections, voters, stuff like that. No more tournaments. We've lost too many amazing people to barbaric, outdated laws.
Vivian, I'll be honest with you here. I want to support you, but the final choice rests with the monarch. After the ball, we need to talk with Draku first and weigh out our options.
Understandable. But be warned. That's when I'm making my move. If he accepts my challenge, we'll be fighting in the morning. You better hurry. That ball is known for huge lines.
Oh, that's gonna suck. Ulrich looks over at Pro, and they nod to each other.
Monarch, I need to tell you something. This is my homeland, and I've always wanted to change it. I have to fight alongside Vivian, even if you ally with Draku. And if Dracu's terms involve destroying Vivian's insurrection, well then I think we'll be fighting each other in the Colosseum. Remember that these are fights to the death. I have no other choice.
Fighting Ulrich? There's no way I can do that. No.
I'll choose Ulrich as my champion then.
I can't face Ulrich. Not because not just because I don't want to, but because I can't. He's too strong. I have noodle arms. Champion?
Each side gets to choose a champion to fight with them. Aside from that, they get to choose 20 to 30 fighters. Everybody that didn't make the cut for champion as an example. This means that myself, Ulrich, and my army would fight in the Colosseum. The battle ends when either the champion or the leader has fallen. Now, I know for a fact that Dracu doesn't like to lose his own men. So, if I challenge him at the ball, after you ask him for his support, I bet he'll make you fight me for it. You know, use your men instead. He's predictable, but you use that to your advantage, Monarch.
I hope it doesn't come down to fighting each other. But for the future of this nation, I will do what I must. Now let's get to that ball and see what Dracu wants.
Alright.
He's probably expecting you. If Drakior scoped you out, I'm betting Westy did too. That's Dracu's right hand. Just be careful out there.
Alright.
I'll be making my move right after he addresses his people. Make sure you're there. That happens in the throne room. Just don't make the wrong choice, Monarch. Go with me.
I'm more likely going to, because I don't want someone that's just in power. I want someone that thinks. Someone who thinks. I'm not saying he doesn't think. I'm just thinking maybe I should be yeah, it's more likely going to be Vivian. He smiles before walking away with Drakior in tow. So he needed us just as a match. So he needed us just as much as we needed him. I guess in this case, that worked in our favor. I didn't expect Ulrich to side with Vivian though. I thought he'd wait for my choice and fight alongside me. I know we could be enemies in the to know we could be enemies in the Colosseum, that's terrifying. But it seems like a real possibility with each passing second. It makes sense for Dracu to use expendable foreigners as supporter fighters. At the end of the day, it really only mattered who the leader and the champion were. Vivian and Ulrich. Dracu and who? Me? He'd probably choose me, I don't know. But then I'd be a weak target. I guess we'd find out. We stay in the tavern for a while before leaving. However, our next destination was clear. The castle. Hopefully the line for the ball wasn't horribly long. Hey, the chairs. It's odd. No matter where I go, taverns are all the same. There was Peregrino, the tavern in Museo, and now this. I guess no matter where you are, some things never change. The tavern is open, and I can see back outside. Being connected to the marketplace is a genius idea. People enter and leave like it's a normal part of their day. There are paintings here. I'm not sure who they're supposed to be. On closer inspection, one of them looked like Ulrich, legendary one. Does Dracu not care that paintings of his enemies are out in the open? I don't know. There's a lot of people to talk to, actually. The next episode might be when we go to the castle, because this is much conversation. I'm stuttering now. Yeah. Ulrich sits at the tavern, taking large swigs of ale. It's hard to accept that if we aided Draku, he'd be against us. But it's understandable as well. He really wanted to change Alrenthia. I hope that this wouldn't affect the rebellion and our unity. We can't have our key members being at arms with each other.
Have a seat, Monarch. These drinks are on me. I don't want you filling up on Draku's handouts.
Alright. I nod and take a seat beside him. I'll drink, but I want some answers. His hasty alliance with Vivian, the lies about his markings, and his past. If he wants my trust, then he needs to tell me everything. I feel lost. I voice those concerns to him as the drinks he orders me arrive. Gosh dang it! As the drinks he ordered me arrived. Taking a large swig, I sit back and await his response, whatever it may be.
Trust. This isn't about trust, Monarch. Your trust in me won't affect any of your decisions. In fact, we could win this war without any trust at all.
Maybe.
All that matters is the desire to fight for a common cause. Did you think that these little chats we've been having were mandatory? Trust me, I could have done just fine without them. In fact, I'd be better off.
I'm taken aback by his harsh words. But I don't let it provoke me. I simply wait. It's best if I let him get a closer hand instead. I bet it's best if I let him get a clear head instead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. This friendship we're forming complicates things. There's a reason I never kept many friends, Monarch. I'm scared that if I tell you everything, you'll just walk away.
That won't be true. So far you've shown goodness. Goodness and gracious. You're both goodness and gracious. So if you tell me something that you regret in the past, or that you do, but you know it's for cause and stuff, I just want to listen. I want to understand. You seem like a really nice person. If you tell me your past, you're not going to go, if I tell you this, I'm going to have to kill you. Then I'd be worried.
Spirits know everybody else did. Look at me. Still using superstition. The spirits had no power over us. No divine plan. Then why do I find myself still wanting to believe in them? I guess maybe they gave me a sense of comfort in difficult times. It's different now, having difficult times, and knowing the truth. What do I believe in if I want to push myself forward? That's what made me want to side with Vivian, no matter what. The desire to change my nation is what drives me to action now. And when we're done here, it'll be the desire to change our world. That's all I've wanted my entire life. It always seems just out of reach. Whenever I think I have it, the Triumvirate swoops in and takes it away.
Bad people. Shame on them.
They tell you they'll give you what you want. They convince you that they'll make your dreams come true. Then, when they're done with you, they throw you away.
I'm sorry. He lets out a loud sigh and slumps down in his chair. I'm not sure why he's telling me all of this, but I still listen. Even if it's somewhat unrelated, it's helpful for him to vent.
What I'm about to tell you, I tell you in confidence. I knew Sovi before he became the Grand Inquisitor. That's how I know so much about the Triumvirate. I saw them take an impressionable young man and ruin him. Turn him into a tool meant to kill without a second thought. They took my friend. And after that, he was no more.
I'm sorry.
That monster we fight may look like my friend, but that man is long gone. They made sure of that. I promised myself I'd never let them do that again. I failed. They got to Shane, just like they got to Sovi. It's almost impossible to shake off their influence. They just have this way of convincing you.
I continue listening, and we take turns drinking. Soon after, a second drink comes for each of us. I believe every word. I knew there was a connection. I looked back to the vision I had in Valinorth's destruction. They said some things that revealed a connection between them. But I just assumed it was something rivals developed in wartime. However, to think that Sovi was once good? That's a part I find hard to believe about all this. Yet, he spared me when he had my life in his hands.
Well, that's one of the things I had to tell you. It was a long time ago, but it still happened. I won't let it get in the way of my performance. A long time ago, I thought maybe I could win him back. You know, maybe he could change and redeem himself. But I haven't thought that in a long time. Now I want to kill him. For everything he's done to me. For everything he's done to us. There's a point where redemption eludes you. And he's past that. I guess this leads into the second thing I wanted to tell you, Monarch.
What's that?
Back in the desert, I told you about how I got these markings. Then Drakior said I ripped them off from the ancient Elorinthians. I wish that was the truth, I really do. But it's not the truth at all. I always tell people that I'm older than they think. But I only say that to hide how old I really am. It's not a lie. It's more like an omission.
Omission. What's that? He rests his head in his hands. His second glass now empty.
I'm old enough to have earned these markings the right way. There. I said it. I don't care if you believe me or not. I finally said it. I'm older than any of you could have possibly imagined. Very, very old.
I'm so confused right now. He's claiming to be thousands of years old? As far as I know, the laws that led to those markings were banned long ago. But not only that, he also used to work with Sovi. I say he's our mortal enemy.
Go ahead. Tell me you don't believe me. So far, nobody else has. They say it's impossible. And soon after that, they say nothing to me at all.
I believe you. Swear has proven almost everything is possible. In fact, I prefer older men. It's no big deal. Oh, do you? Seriously? Could you at least pretend to value my time? Now that's just being mean. That's not even playful at all. That's just being mean. Where's the fist in this one? I'm sorry you had to go through that. Losing Sophie sounds tough. For opening up to me, Ulrich. Dang. Someone could just be plain, straight, and boring. Maybe you can be mournful, or you can be kind. I believe you.
Really? You'd be the first. Of course, there was always something different about you. Now that we've been through all of this, we finally know why. Thank you, Monarch. I really mean it. There's more to this story, but that's all we have time for. It's just the basics. Stuff you'll need to know moving forward.
Yeah. That means that blade of yours is actually 1,000 years old? More than? Dang, you keep it pristine. The barkeep comes up to us and asks if we want another drink. Ulrich shakes his head, sending him off on his way, and puts some money down.
My treat, remember? Now let's get going to that ball. Tonight we change history.
Yeah. Ulrich's loyalty scene will be available when you return to the mainland. Dang! I got, I think, 4 teams, but not Velez's. Did I get Velez's? I can't remember. The game will notify you when loyalty scenes have been unlocked. When they have been, you can view them by going to the war table. Well, I'm gonna go with check out Sovi, his past, and then we'll talk with them. We might be able to squeeze them in. Let's do all of these guys in this one episode. Yes. Sovi knelt before his masters, with Halen and Shane behind him. The time had finally come to tell them what happened in Mazeo. Having Halen's support, however, meant they wouldn't learn the full truth.
The general of the rebellion has fallen. Good work, Shane. You've earned our trust. We had a feeling you'd prove yourself useful.
Shut up.
But what of the seer? We notice that you don't have our blade. This displeases us. Please, explain, Sophie.
We thought it better to damage their morale. They have the blade, but they can never recover. Next time we see them, it'll be like crushing an insect.
You failed your mission, Sophie. We wanted you to retrieve that blade. Now they have time to regroup and replan.
Yes, they have time, but not enough. I know where they'll be going, Masters. With your permission, I'll go and end this.
End what should already be over? Sophie, do you realize what you've done? There's a reason we needed that blade. But you failed to retrieve it, and let the seer get away. Any silver lining you can come up with is simply not enough. Domek's death will only fuel them with rage to use against us.
Neener, neener, neener.
Only if we give it time to fester. We can leave immediately. Please.
Halen, is Sophie speaking the truth? Do you trust his ability to carry out another mission?
Halen steps forward, nervous. Gulping, he looks at his masters.
No.
Sylvie looks shocked, and Halen had promised him discretion. He grits his teeth in anger, taking deep breaths, trying to stay calm.
Tell us what really happened, Halen. We need to know in order to plan our next move.
Of course, Masters. Sovi failed on purpose. He had the blade and the seer's life, but took neither. I don't know why. I regret letting him run off alone.
Halen!
Sylvie's loud cry echoes through the Triumvirate's chambers. His masters shake their heads, clearly displeased at this news.
He planned to deceive you all along. In fact, he had me promise to lie as well. I did, but I planned to tell you regardless.
Halen kneels down, swearing filthy. Filthy?
I am unable to lie to you, Masters. You gave me life, and for that I am grateful. Shane and myself can carry out the next mission. At this time, Sovi is unfit for duty. It pains me to say, but it is the truth.
The Triumvirate pauses, thinking for a few minutes. An eerie silence fills the room before they speak again. Sovi and Halen, both kneeling, look up at their masters.
Rise, Grand Inquisitor.
Sovi slowly rises, his fists trembling with anger.
No, not you, Sophie.
What?
Grand Inquisitor, please rise.
They say it again, and Halen looks around, confused. A few moments later, he rises, standing up beside Sovi.
Masters?
Sophie is hereby stripped of the rank of Grand Inquisitor. Halen, taking this mantle, you will train Shane as your apprentice. We trust that you will do as we command, and avoid letting us down.
Sovi takes a few steps back, while Halen nods.
Please, Masters, I beg you to reconsider. We have them in our grasp. We can do this.
Sophie, we would have understood the failure of your mission. But lying to us, the lack of loyalty and honesty is unacceptable. It's almost starting to seem like your allegiance lies somewhere else.
It doesn't. I swear.
We cannot be certain that you're telling the truth. Surely you can see how that lie has damaged our trust. Halen, however, has proven to be nothing but loyal. Shane killed a key member of the rebellion as well. You come back to us with nothing to show but deception. It hurts us, and so you must be punished for your actions.
Sylvie's head slumps down, accepting defeat. If he wanted to win them back, he'd have to endure this punishment. Fighting it was useless. It would only serve to make things worse for him. Also, sorry about all the doors closing and opening. It's morning time and everyone's waking up.
Very well. I understand. But know that I will make this up to you. Until you need me again, I'll be in my chambers.
He starts to walk away, but is quickly stopped by his masters.
No.
Turning around, the look of anger is more apparent on his face.
Excuse me?
Your punishment must be rather severe. Without that blade, we are vulnerable.
Yes! The Seer's powers. I'm seeing this, and this is wonderful news.
Then tell me what you plan to do. There is no pain I will not endure for you.
Halen, Shane, come here.
Doing as instructed, they approach the triumvirate. They turn around, and Sylvie is faced by all 5 of his now superiors.
We no longer have any use for you, Sylvie. The Inquisition has been reformed, and is now stronger. We have no choice but to exile you from Balteus. Permanently.
What?
You will leave immediately. This is non-negotiable. Set in stone.
Show me the stone then. Chisel it out. Sylvie shakes his head, clearly fighting back tears.
After everything I've done for you, you're going to what? Just throw me away?
Yes. Without Rain in danger, we need a strong core. We need men who can get the job done, without question. This is something you seem to be incapable of, Sophie.
There must be something I can do.
No, Sophie. There's nothing you can do. It's too late. Unless you march in here with that blade and the seer. Well, to put it bluntly, we never wish to see your face again.
Great, now he's on a very strict mission. Gosh dang. I can still squeeze it in because I already went over the time I wanted, and these conversations don't last very long. So let's get these done over. Let's get this done.
So we might have to fight Ulrich. That's pretty scary to think about, bro.
Only if the Monarch sides with Dracu, Valessa. There's still a pretty good chance that won't happen. I wonder who Dracu will elect as his champion, though.
Well, his army is supposed to be incredibly powerful. He must get to handpick the strongest Alorinthians. I'm sure Ulrich can handle it, though. At least, I hope.
Well, Dracu doesn't like to waste his men, remember? It's possible he'll elect an outsider, meaning one of us. Vivian is like an insect to him. Super easy to crush.
So, we'll be fighting each other in the end? Isn't this supposed to be a fight to the death?
Exciting, isn't it?
No, it's not. That means one of us will die.
Not exactly.
Huh?
The match ends if the champion or the leader falls. It'd be possible to end this with Vivian or Draku's death. The champion is just there to spice things up, I guess. If it were just the two leaders, they'd only fight each other. Having two champions ensures the fight constantly changes pace. It makes things sound more interesting, at least. You need strategy. Watching two leaders in an unending deadlock would be boring. The champions and a small army of men really shake it up. It makes sure the leaders are at the top of their game too. They have to watch every direction and constantly be ready. It serves to show us how strong they truly are. It's crazy. Draku is undefeated, but Ulrich might just stand a chance.
I think you're kind of missing my point, Pro.
Really?
I don't think of Vivian and Draku as expendable. At the end of the day, one of us will die, no matter what. Even if it's one of them, it's still something I'd like to avoid.
Then it sounds like you side with Vivian then. Draku's death would be the final death in the Colosseum. There'd be no more fights like this under his reign.
I know you're right, but it's not so easy. We have to kill him just because he thinks differently? There's no way to avoid casualties, and I hate that.
Yeah, but it's not just Alarinthia, Valessa. You could say that about this entire war in general. Sometimes it's better to look at people as means to an end.
I can never do that.
She's such a sweetheart.
A lot of people feel the same way, trust me. But that's probably why the Triumvirate is in charge. We need to start looking at things differently if we want to win.
If we have to compromise ourselves, then is it truly winning? I don't know, Pro. I think I need a little bit of time to myself.
Of course.
I don't want to watch Ulrich fight in the Colosseum. If the Monarch sides with Draku, then he could die.
But he's prepared to die for his beliefs, Fortame. There isn't a better way to go. A true, noble end.
Honestly, I'd prefer if his life had no end at all. I have a feeling this choice will end up dividing us. I don't want to fight against Ulrich or watch him die.
It's all about respecting his wishes, Fortame. If he puts his life on the line for Alarinthia, we can't deny that. You'd do the same for Valinor. In fact, you already are.
Really?
This war is just battle after battle, Fortame. You put your life on the line back at Rebel HQ. That means you are ready to die for your beliefs.
I guess you're right when you put it that way.
So Ulrich isn't just fighting for Alarinthia. Remember that our army gets a boost out of this. At the end of the day, it benefits all of Alestia.
But what if the person we side with loses?
That's what makes things difficult, Fortame. Vivian is the right choice, in my opinion, but not the correct one. The correct choice is Draku. He's won every battle and has a huge army.
This is pretty complicated. So far, every choice was concrete. There was no room to choose and then lose.
Alarinthia is different than everything we know. I guess it makes sense that things would change once we arrived. The Monarch has a tough choice to make. It's a gamble at best.
It shouldn't have to be that way, though. The future of a nation in our world is a gamble? That's bad news. Vivian has the right idea here for sure.
You mean abolishing Colosseum battles?
Yeah. Things should be just like the rest of Alestia. If they were, then we wouldn't even be in this situation.
But we shouldn't change something just because we don't like it. That's what the Triumvirate did to this world. We can't be like them. Alarinthia has been fine since the dawn of time. It can continue to be fine. Besides, Valinor is the exact same way. Independent, with its own hierarchy and leadership.
It was, but I'm going to change that. As the Elder, I want unity with the other nations. I think the same would be best for Alarinthia. The Triumvirate changed this world to suit them, right? That's not what we're doing. We're liberating it, making it better. Our end goal is different, so I don't think we can be compared to them.
You have a point, actually. Maybe I've got the wrong idea. A flip coin does the same thing until it lands, after all. The truth is only shown after everything is said and done.
Exactly!
In that case, maybe I do side with Vivian. With Ulrich's strength, he may stand a chance. I hope the Monarch is on the same page as us.
I guess we'll find out once we get to the ball. But I wonder if Draku will request our aid. And for that matter, who will its champion be? Gosh, I hope things don't get even more complicated. Not sure I could handle a web more tangled than this.
Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
He picks one of you guys. That's what can happen. Alright. Well, we're going to have another heavy choice to make. Because if they're heavily pointing out that one of our people might be chosen as his champion, it's probably because of strategy, because we will be facing him, and we would hesitate, and they would hesitate, but he won't, because he has no attachments to any of us, no emotion for any of us. So in this battle, if we start with Vivian or him, one of us will probably be his champion, and then one of us will probably die. I guess we'll see when the time comes. Thank you guys for stopping by, and until I see you guys again, have a great day, everyone.